27, 2017. Clerk of the Board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter. Freeholder Estrada.
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak.
Here.
Freeholder Jallo.
Here.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Here.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Here.
Freeholder Wright.
Here.
Vice Chairman Granados.
Here.
And Chairman Bergen.
Here.
Chairman, you have 8 freeholders present and 1 junior freeholder present.
Thank you. Would you please lead us in prayer and salute to the flag?
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will, and to grant the light of his spirit on all who work for justice and peace. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk of the Board, will you please read the Statement of Compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act?
Chair wishes to announce that pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey statutes annotated, Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2017, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstances, to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2017 in the Administration Building, and further by filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2017 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you. First, may I please have a motion to approve communications?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Wright. Please call the roll.
Freeholder Estrada.
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak.
Aye.
Freeholder Jallo.
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Aye.
Freeholder Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados.
Aye.
And Chairman Bergen.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 8 freeholders voting in the affirmative.
Thank you. We now move on to that portion of our agenda having to do with our yearly budget. We have first one resolution which we must consider, 2017-339, and at this time I would open the meeting for public comment on this resolution only. Kindly step up, give your name and town of residence, and please remember the 5-minute time limit. Any public comments on resolution 2017-339?
Good evening, Chair Bergen, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board. Bruce Patterson, Garwood. The cap bank. You know, this is something that all the towns and the counties go through. At this point, I'm going to be asking you to show some leadership and vote no, that you do not need this cap bank. A couple of questions that arise out of this. It says, resolution to exceed the county tax levy limit. Now, the question there is actually, are you exceeding the county tax levy limit, or is this just a housekeeping item that you're going to be voting on? Another question is, does this also have to do with that line item cap that was newly elected by the state that you are now requesting to go above the cap, and those are the line items of the election department and the prosecutor's department? If it is, I mean, please explain to the public how much you're going over those line items and why. And I guess finally, actually, how much do you actually have in the cap bank? And again, just to point it out, you have a large surplus. You're increasing taxes every year. I don't think you need this cap bank at all, and you should be voting no. We have a cap already imposed from 2010 when Christie, did something with the legislature. So, I mean, at this point, you don't need the cap bank. So show some leadership. You have plenty of money. You do not need to lean back on this cap bank. So please vote no, and I look forward to the answers to the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Director Taylor. Are we, I think the first real question was, are we in fact exceeding the county tax levy limit?
In short, no. The resolution is a pro forma resolution that is promulgated by the Division of Local Government Services. It essentially allows us to cap the amount of which we do not need to utilize in this year's budget and utilize it in the 2 succeeding years' budget. The amount of the cap bank that we have in 2016, we still have 2016 bank available to us in the amount of $5,048,476.51. The cap bank for 2017 that we are going to carry over is $7,327,649.24 for a total of $12,376,125.75.
Thank you. Am I correct that the amount in the tax, in the cap bank has nothing to do with the budget or taxes?
That's correct. It is just a financing tool that gives us flexibility in subsequent years for planning purposes.
And the other question was, the new cap on constitutional budgets, does this address those issues?
No, this is just for the overall tax levy. The constitutional cap that was enacted by Public Law 2015, Chapter 249, was previously adopted that allowed us to exceed a 2% cap on certain constitutional offices, and the only 2 offices that we had were essentially the tax board and the county prosecutor's office at that point.
Thank you. Any other members of the public who wish to address 2017-339? Seeing none, I'll close the public portion concerning this resolution and ask for a motion to enact it.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Vice Chairman Granato, seconded by Freeholder Mirabella. Clerk of the Board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Estrada?
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak?
Aye.
Freeholder Jallo?
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski?
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella?
Aye.
Freeholder Wright?
yes,
Vice Chairman Granados?
Aye.
And Chairman Bergen.
Aye.
Chairman, you have 8 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. We now move to Resolutions 2017-340 and 2017-341, which is, in fact, where we adopt the 2017 County of Union budget. Before we move to public comment, I would ask the fiscal chairman, Freeholder Mirabella, to please say a few words.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We've reviewed the 2017 budget as given by the county manager over the past several months, and now we're set to pass it tonight. Since the county manager presented his budget in February, the fiscal committee was able to reduce the tax levy by an additional $724,000. This was done without any loss of jobs or impact to any services. The overall result is a tax increase of just 2.75%, and this is an average tax increase of $53 per household. The governor's budget exceeds this increase. Overall, the county's fiscal position has continued to improve. This year, the county achieved a AAA bond rating from Moody's, the highest attainable, of which only 6 counties have attained this very desirable rating. The rating affirms the county's strong financial standing, with Moody's citing Union County as having a very strong management team that has worked hard to turn around the county finances. Union County's growth was evidenced by another dramatic increase in our rateable base, this time by 2.7%, or nearly $1.8 billion in net valuation over 2016. This is the largest increase since 2007 and our 3rd consecutive increase. The strong real estate market also resulted in the highest growth in 9 years from fees realized by the county clerk's office, which totaled $40 million. In terms of management, we're also able to cut costs in certain areas, most notably in corrections, where we reduced the overtime budget by $1 million through continued focus on efficiencies at the jail. Moody's also cited the county's manageable debt level. Net debt expressed as a percentage of equalized value basis is 0.887%, substantially less than the maximum of 2% that it could be. Our strong budgeting practices and government services continue to keep Union County as one of the best places to live in New Jersey. This was confirmed recently by a quality of life report by niche.com. Finally, I'd like to thank the members of the Fiscal Committee, Committee members Freeholder Granados, Freeholder Carter, and Freeholder Jallo, along with all the freeholders who participated in budget hearings and added input to this budget. I want to thank our county manager for his diligence, hard work, and dedication to the people of Union County to present a budget that provides services and at a reasonable cost. All the department heads who work throughout the year to present their budget, to justify the expenses, and to keep costs down. In particular, our Director of Finance, B.B. Taylor, and Melinda Zito, who is, I think, here someplace, did a terrific job pulling this budget together. Their whole staff in finance worked very hard on taking the input from the department managers, through the county manager, through the freeholders, and present this budget here tonight. I want to thank everyone for their participation, and I look forward to its passage. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to say a couple words.
Thank you, Freeholder, and thank you for your hard work on this budget. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Chairman.
We're going to change the procedure slightly. I'm told by our counsel that we need to vote on 2017-340 separately. So at this time, I will take public comment as concerns pending resolution 2017-340 only. If you wish to make a comment on this pending resolution only, then please step forward, give your name, your town of residence, and once again, please remember the 5-minute time limit. Is there anyone who wishes to comment on resolution 2017-340 only? Resolution 2017-340 only. We will then have a separate public hearing on the budget. Seeing none?
Good evening, Chair Bergen, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board, Bruce Patterson, Garwood. I guess it's a little odd, but I'll speak on the budget on 341, but I'm just wondering what that means about determining the public hearing conditions set forth according to whatever New Jersey state statute, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, could you please explain that? Thank you.
This resolution really does nothing more than allows the pending budget resolution to be read by title rather than word for word into the record. And that we have complied with the public notice requirements. So that being said, may I please have, I'm sorry, anyone else from the public wishing to comment on 2017-340? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. May I please have a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second? Moved by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Wright. Please call the roll.
Freeholder Estrada?
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak?
Aye.
Freeholder Jallo?
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski?
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella?
Aye.
Freeholder Wright?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados?
Aye.
And Chairman Bergen.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 8 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. Now we will move on to Resolution 2017-341. Clerk of the Board, would you kindly read that resolution by title?
Resolution number 2017-341, a resolution adopting the 2017 County of Union budget.
Thank you. I now open this single resolution for public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to comment on Resolution 2017-341, please come forward, state your name, your town of residence, and please remember the 5-minute time limit. Anyone, please step forward. Seeing none?
Good evening, Chair Bergen, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board, Bruce Patterson, Garwood. Amazing, a $500 million budget in gets up and, oddly enough, I mean, we're the Republican candidates, you know, they should be saying something. But anyway, analyzing the budget and the elements, you know, I'll break my commentary down into 3 to 4 parts. Questions, comments, suggestions, and even the good parts. First question, and I've asked this before, and I know Freeholder Estrada says he gets headaches when residents ask questions, but, you know, we get nauseous when you don't answer.
Mr. Patterson, please keep to the topic and no personal comments.
Okay, we can assume as good stewards of government, you will answer the questions. Why is a town manager overseeing the Union County budget and voting on the Union County budget when the other 21 towns don't have any oversight on the budget, nor can they vote on the budget? I'd like some kind of legal case backing up this, because at this point it seems to be a major conflict. Another question. In December, you gave out 5 to 6% salary increases, which is astronomical in this day, while towns who are actually hurting have been capping the salaries at 2%. What did these people do, actually, to deserve such huge raises? Did they save a lot of money? Did they do some kind of stellar work? Please explain that. The newly enacted county line item cap by the state, it's the tax board and the prosecutors, from Bibby Taylor noting it, department went over cap. The question is why and by how much? Another question, line item, the UCUA, I tried to mention this before. Here's a savings. UCUA line item went from $2 million to $1 million as revenue. The refinance of the UCUA bonds back in 2011 set that the Union County will be getting $2 million annually from the UCUA. Suddenly now you're getting $1 million. This appears to be illegal. Is that correct? I'd like to hear that. What is your plan for the surplus of at least $43 to $45 million in the budget? I've asked that question before. You're accruing it, and I'm just wondering why, and please explain to the public. It's an astronomically large number. The expenditures. At the end of the year, you had a reserve of unspent money of $59 million. Now, I know a lot of like unpaid bills and such, and maybe even insurance has to be paid, but that's $59 million. That's 12% of your budget. That sounds like a lot. This is a commentary, by the way. This is now in the commentary. That's too big a number. Something's got to be amiss, so maybe you should relook at that. The expenditures, I'm looking at when the hearing was, you had the budget for 2016 line item, then you had the expenditures, then you had the budget line item for 2017. A lot of the expenditures are 5 to 25% below the 2016 line item, and now, yet you're still increasing even over the 2016 line item. That's something strange there. Another comment is direct and indirect labor costs total well over $300 million of the $500 million budget. I mean, this seriously needs to be reviewed and trimmed, since the county really offers minimal services for such a large cost. The sheriff's office, they produced $1 million in an increase of revenue, which is great. I appreciate it. But it's mostly from the foreclosures. That's what came out of the hearing, on the backs of distressed homeowners. I mean, see if you can do something about that. You know, instead of that $1 million, somehow folding it back into foreclosures. I feel sorry for the people. What's amazing is that, yeah, in the last many meetings, taxpayers from both Summit and Roselle came to the Freeholder meetings complaining about their taxes, and that's both sides of the spectrum. I mean, this is tough. I mean, we're in a major stressful situation here on taxes. You have to do something. Also, the county sold Runnels Hospital in 2014, and in 3 years, taxes still went up $24 million, or 10%. That's a big jump. Suggestions. 2 years ago, I noted to merge the UCIA into the Union County, much like Morris County did, to avoid the boondoggles and incompetence projects like the family courthouse project. That's a shame what happened there. Reassessment costs. I've been talking to you about this, so all 21 towns. If you have such a large surplus, please, I mean, these towns need relief on the major costs that they'll be facing, all 21 towns, basically. Go into,
Thank you, Mr.
go into
Patterson.
the New
Your time-
Jersey health
Mr.
plan.
Mr.
That'll save
Patterson,
$7
your
million.
time is up.
Get a grip
Mr.
on debt,
Patterson-
get a grip on the prosecutor's labor costs.
Mr. Patterson, your time is up. Thank you for your
You
comments.
don't even want to hear the good
Thank
points?
you.
I have good points here for you. Look at a couple little
You'll
pages
have to
here.
save them till later. Thank you. Thank you.
This was not one of the
Thank
good
you.
points shutting
Thank
me
you.
down. Thank you.
The rules apply to everyone, Mr. Patterson. Director Taylor. Seems there was one substantive question in there. If you could address just the overage by the two constitutional departments, how much that was and what it was for.
Absolutely. Through you, Chairman, the Board of Taxation was over the 2% cap by 0.56%, which equates to $1,454. And that was a result of negotiated increases by the Council 8 members that took it over the cap. The prosecutor's office was over by 3.13%, equaling $698,763, and that's a direct result of the new positions that we had to add because of bail reform, which took effect this January.
Thank you very much. I will address one other issue, Mr. Patterson, that you raised, though it's been addressed ad nauseum from this dais, and that is the large surplus. And as Freeholder Mirabella told us before we started the budget hearing, our bond rating was increased this year to AAA by Moody's, which is as high as it gets, and they pointed out our conservative fiscal policies and certainly that surplus, which gives us a rainy day fund in case of disaster, is part of that conservative fiscal policy. So I, for one, and I believe this board as a whole, believes that it is prudent for us to have that surplus. Thank you. Anyone else from the public who wishes to comment on pending Resolution 2017-341 only? Mr. Burry, how are you?
Yeah, John Berry, Kenilworth. Comment and a question, or a follow-up question. The comment is, I think it should be made aware that Moody's was paid, what is it, $40,000 to give their opinion, and they've been paid tens of thousands before for various opinions. So it's, you got to take that. I don't think they're really looking into whether the county is using open space trust fund money to pay their parks people or anything like that. They're just cashing the $40,000 checks. The follow-up question was, I think you missed one. I mean, there was another substantive question that Mr. Patterson brought up, I thought. The $2 million that the Union County Improvement Authority kicks back to the county went to $1 million. I just glanced over the budget, and I think I remember seeing that. So was that in the original contract, or what's the reason for that, and what will it be in the future, that line item, the $2 million from the UCIA going down to $1 million when they refinanced?
County Manager?
Thank you. Just, Mr. Chairman, point of clarification. We do not pay Moody's. This is something that they do to rate all municipalities and counties. The only time Moody's is paid was when we do bond offerings and things of that nature. So that we're not paid for this service.
Thank you, County Manager. I didn't think that question actually needed a response, but Director Taylor, if you could just address the funds coming from the UCIA. The question seems to imply that we're breaking some kind of agreement that we signed. Is that the case?
Simple answer, no, sir. This entire deal was part of the McEnroe Agreement, all DEP approvals, Division of Local Government Services approvals. The $2 million that was anticipated and realized since 2011 through 2016 was part of those approvals, and essentially we are in conformance with the agreement as far as the funding sources are concerned.
Thank you very much. Anyone else from the public who wishes to comment on the county budget under Resolution 2017-341? Seeing no one else, then I will call on the fiscal chairman, Freeholder Mirabella, to move adoption of the budget through Resolution 2017-341.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm pleased to move for adoption the 2017 Union County Budget, 2017-341.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Kowalski. Clerk of the Board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Estrada?
Yes, but there is an exception or a clarification. There is the capital expenditure, which I know that was part of my original document that I received for a budget. I'm not prepared to support that at this time. I know that we are not really, I've been told that it will not be accepted until sometime into May or June. I just want to make sure that I'm not voting on the capital expenditures. The rest, yes.
Thank you.
Freeholder Hudak?
Aye.
Freeholder Jallo?
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski?
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella?
Aye.
Freeholder Wright?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados?
Aye.
And Chairman Bergen?
Yes.
Chairman, you have 8 freeholders voting in the affirmative with the clarification from Freeholder Estrada.
Thank you, Clerk of the Board.
I think there's 9 votes in affirmative, not 8.
No, because.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Sorry.
We now have the remainder of our resolutions which are on the agenda for tonight. That's resolutions through 2017-342 through 2017-378. I'm now going to open the meeting for purposes of public comment on any of those pending resolutions. If you have any comment, please step forward, give your name, your town of residence, and please let us know which resolution you are referring to. And of course, the 5-minute time limit does continue to apply.
Thank you. Nancy Pivovar, 1129 Myrtle Avenue, Plainfield.
I'm sorry, your name was?
Pivovar, P-I-W-O-W-A-R. 217-356. Pedestrian bridge. Thank you for replacing that bridge in Greenbrook Park. I really appreciate it. And 217-358, the Battle of Short Hills. Can somebody tell me where that is going to take place? I commend the freeholders for doing this because there's always an issue with Edison that wants to claim the battle site. And the highest point is in Hillside Cemetery, which is in Scotch Plains. And I'm always arguing with the local historians because Washington would have never gave up the highest point, and the house on Randolph Road would have fallen if it wasn't protected. And it was from the Drake House Museum that General George Washington directed the troops, and he had Alexander Hamilton there, and he stationed the troops on both sides of the Greenbrook in Greenbrook Park. So I appreciate the fact that the county is now declaring that we had the battle. And just let me know exactly where you're going to have the reenactment, please. Thank you.
It's going to be in Oak Ridge Park in Clark. And thank you for your comments. Anyone else from the public on any of the pending resolutions?
Good evening, Chair Bergen, Bruce Patterson, Garwood, and ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board. Page 2, it's 2017-344 near the top. This appeared as a previous resolution maybe a month ago or so. It's your concurring with the City of Rawley, reappointing James Kennedy to the Union County Utilities Authority. I found that's a major conflict of interest. He's actually an assemblyman in the legislature, and the legislature oversees these authorities. So something's wrong here. It's a major conflict of interest, and of course I suggested forget about him, toss him out. You know, he's an assemblyman. Put me in there in place. I suggested that.
There you
go. Page 3, at the very top. It's 2017-350. The GAP spending plan not to exceed $295,000 for subcontracted services, which is interesting. 8 months, $295,000. Could somebody please explain what that is and who is involved with this? 352, that's the that's a Office of Cultural Heritage Affairs applying for a grant to the New Jersey Historic Trust for $50,000. I'm just wondering, I'm the president of the Historical Committee in Garwood, but this $50,000, does that have something to do with the Battle of Short Hills, which is number 358? If somebody could explain that to me. Yeah, 358, the Battle of Short Hills. I thought I just read something about that on April 30th, which is Sunday, something was going to be happening with that. If somebody could explain it, maybe you can't, but I just read that in the newspapers not too long ago. If not, that's okay, if you can't answer that.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. Say that again?
358, I just read in the Suburban News, I think it was, April 30th, something is happening. It might be in Union, but it has to do with the Battle of Short Hills, or maybe there was another battle over in Union. I don't know what that is.
Not related to this.
Not related, it's something else, okay. 360, it appears to be a resolution approving some settlement with Barbara Egger versus Runnels Hospital for $300,000. That's a large number. I don't know if you negotiated that number. I would like some overview from county council on this as to what it was about. I know a lot of nurses, when you sold Runnels, a lot of nurses got laid off. She was more or less the head nurse, I believe. But was this negotiated for what? Is this going to be paid for by the taxpayers or an insurance? That's it. Nothing major. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Starting with 350, Director Guzzo. That's the gap spending. Can you just tell us who will be receiving those funds?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I have the book the wrong way, apparently. Yes, the spending plan, it's Bridgeway House, Central Jersey Legal Services, Elizabeth Coalition to House the Homeless, Jewish Family Services, Plainfield Action Services, Turning Point, which is a substance abuse program for inpatient stays, Urban League of Union County, the YWCA of Eastern Union County. Those are the agencies.
Thank you. Number 352, Director Zuber. Is this application for a grant have anything to do with the Battle of Short Hills?
Really, this does not have anything to do with the Battle of Short Hills.
Thank you. And number 360, County Council, can you address that briefly?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is actually an abbreviated caption, Barbara Egger versus Runnels Hospital. Ms. Eggers is one of 52 plaintiffs in this matter, and it was claims by former nurses, nurses' aides, and attendants relative to wages, overtime pay, and Fair Labor Standard Act claims as well. So the amount represents a payment settling all claims, including counsel fees, for the 52 plaintiffs.
And that was done by a negotiated settlement, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. Any other members of the public who wish to address resolutions 342 through 378? Seeing none, I'll close that portion and ask for a motion to adopt those resolutions.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Kowalski, seconded by Freeholder Mirabella. Clerk of the Board, kindly call the roll.
Freeholder Estrada,
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak,
Aye.
Freeholder Jallo,
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski,
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella,
Aye.
Freeholder Wright,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados,
Aye.
and Chairman Bergen.
I abstain on Resolution 2017-350 and vote yes on the remainder.
Chairman, you have 8 votes in the affirmative for all resolutions, with the exception of Resolution 2017-350, where you have 7 votes in the affirmative and 1 abstention.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I now open this meeting for public comment on any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the county. Once again, kindly state your name and town of residence, and the 5-minute time limit does apply. Please step forward.
Chairman Bergen, we have a sixth grader here who wants to speak. I'd rather yield the floor to her so she can go to school tomorrow morning, if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
Hello, my name is Katie DeBello. I'm 12 years old and I'm in 6th grade at Columbia Middle School in Berkeley Heights. I'm a Girl Scout, I play basketball, softball, and I ride mountain bikes. I'm also a member of NICA, the National Interscholastic Cycling Association. NICA held their first event in New Jersey on Sunday in Chester, where I finished first in my class. I met and rode in the trails with many other middle and high school kids who love to do the same healthy fun activity as I do. I love being outside. I can play basketball at my local school, play softball at the fields in my town, and I've hiked with the Girl Scouts in the Watchung Reservation, but I can't ride my bicycle at trails near my home. Mountain biking is a healthy, fun activity that I can do with my family. We like to be outside and spend time together riding on the trails. I wish we were able to ride in a fun, safe place close to my home where there are no cars to worry about. People like me, kids and families, deserve to be able to have a safe place to ride with our families and friends that is close to our homes and in our community. Please consider letting bicycles in the Watchung Reservation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Anyone else from the public who wishes to comment on any matter?
I'll just be brief. My name is Svi Rab from Berkeley Heights. I'm also here with my daughter, also a Columbia Middle School student in 6th grade. And thank you for speaking. That was very, I really enjoyed hearing that. And my daughter is also in a very similar position, a little camera shy, but she would also like to be able to have these activities close to her home. And as I've spoken before, and I believe I've emailed all of you, we have quite a bit of volunteers who are willing and able to work on these trail networks as soon as it's possible. And I don't want to lose this opportunity. So I would urge you to, A, get to it and actually vote on this resolution sometime. It's been pending for some time, so please get going. And of course, vote in the affirmative to allow these trails open to mountain biking. I think you've heard a lot of bizarre statements, fear-mongering from other members of the public. It's disheartening, and I hope you can vote to allow sharing of the trail network. Appreciate your time. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
My name is Glenn Murgase. I'm from Woodbridge. I am a metal sculptor. In September of 2013, my partner Dawn Arena and I installed a metal sculpture behind the Union County Performing Arts Center. And I have repeatedly tried to contact people from the Performing Arts Center, Mr. Fiala, Ms. Kowalski, and I haven't gotten any replies. I still have not been paid for this sculpture. We were commissioned by Mr. James Kennedy and Mr. Lawrence McCullough, who were the subsequent directors of the Union County Performing Arts Center, to install this sculpture with the promise to be paid within a year. And so it's been 4 years since we've installed the sculpture. The sculpture has been maintained by the county because I understand it's on county property. It's not on the Performing Arts Center property. The county has been maintaining the property for the past 4 years. The invoice has been sent a number of times. The invoice is for $5,000. It's not a lot of money. Mr. Kennedy proposed to have public art installed in Rawway to enhance the downtown area, build up Rawway's reputation as an arts destination. We agreed to do the sculpture. He actually purchased the sculpture for the Hamilton stage. My sculpture is hanging on the wall in the Hamilton stage lobby, which we got paid from some different grants that the money came from. What I would like to know is who is responsible to pay for this sculpture? I think it's actually a disgrace, to tell you the truth, that we were commissioned to do a piece, we installed a piece in due time, and never got paid. So, given the fact that I've been trying to contact people from Union County, from the Performing Arts Center, and from the Freeholders, and I haven't gotten any response other than a response from Union County's lawyer saying Union County is not responsible. But I understand that Union County has been maintaining the site. Union County Performing Arts Center claims they don't have any money to pay for it. I was told that I could take the sculpture out, and I'd be more than willing to take the sculpture out, but there would be a fee for that. And then somebody would have to pay me to remove it. So I'm just here to make it known to the members of Union County that something should be done about this. I'm just an artist. I'm not a contractor. I'm an artist trying to make a living, and somebody owes me $5,000 for a sculpture that's in place that thousands of people have been enjoying for the past 4 years. So if I can get some answers, Mr. Fiella, I would appreciate a return of my calls or my emails with an answer. I understand you're on the board of the Union County Performing Arts Center. Are you on the board of the Union County Arts Center?
You can't address questions to the members.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I stated my case. I would appreciate a return of my calls and my emails from someone sometime, and let's get to the bottom of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, John Berry, Kenilworth, and just 2 points. The guy left, but you did pay, like, what, $250,000 to fix the organ at the UC PAC? So he might have a point about his little $5,000. UC PAC probably has a lot of money, or at least they have source of funds from this board. And the other thing is I wanted to clarify that Moody's thing I brought up before. Moody's did get a lot of money, or does get a lot of money over the years, and they give these high ratings to Union County. Now, it may be even worse if they were paid in connection with a bond issue, or they did something for a bond that the county put out there. So, in effect, they get money for the bond, and they're offering an opinion on the quality of the bond, which seemed like a conflict of interest. But you'll see, there'll be a listing, it's in the check registry, Moody's Investor Services, and I think Fitch also, maybe S&P. They've gotten tens of thousands of dollars at a pop, and recently, within the last year for this bond rating, there was, I don't have the exact number, but I thought it was 40,000. I'll print it all out. But it is a conflict if they are looking at the quality of the debt rating, and they are also helping sell the bonds or do something with the bonds. It's a clear conflict. Not that, with this surplus and, if you do have a wellspring of taxes that you could go. I mean, nobody's complaining. I mean, taxes are going up 2.7% above the cap, and there's nobody here. Nobody asks about the budget. So Moody's, from that point of view, has a point in that this is a terribly apathetic county. I mean, nobody. There'll be massive taxes. You might have people in Summit crying about it at their meetings or everywhere else, but they don't come here. So from that point of view, you might deserve a trip away, because you could always raise taxes and nobody will complain, as far as I can tell, based on my experience. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett. Anyone else from the public wishing to comment?
Tom Gockel, I'm a Westfield resident. Jamie Meiselman, who's the county chapter president of Jorba, has asked several times that if there are issues with the mountain bike trails, that the user groups could be brought together by the county, if that's possible, to discuss the differences and try to resolve them amicably. I think that since the county is already including large budgetary items for the use of the horse riding community, for example, the $2.3 million spent on the indoor riding arena in the Watchung Reservation, that they could at least hear the voices of the mountain biking community, and we are attempting to have access for children and others who ride bicycles and would like to ride their bicycles on trails in the Union County area without having to drive to other areas. I don't know what can be done to facilitate this, but I understand that Ron Zuber has been directed not to facilitate discussions like this between other user groups and the mountain biking community. And Jamie has been working hard to get the trails accessible by all groups, not just hikers, dog walkers, horse riders, and others, but also people who simply own inexpensive bikes and want to ride them there. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else from the public?
Thank you, Chairman Bergen and the other freeholders. My name is Ann DeCamp, and I live in Scotch Plains. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Katie for her incredible achievement as part of the NICA Race League. All of us encourage healthy habits and exercise for children. Hiking, running, organized school sports, hockey, skiing, they're all great exercise. However, I still oppose digging up and desecrating untouched wilderness portions of the Watchung Reservation to provide mountain biking trails. There are numerous places within New Jersey that allow mountain biking. I don't think that children are going to be biking from their homes to the Watchung Reservation unless they are adjacent to the park. They're going to be driving to the park. So if they go to Morristown or Bridgewater, I don't think it's that big of an inconvenience. The other thing I wanted to mention is that NICA has a stated goal in their website they envision interscholastic cycling to become integrated into New Jersey's middle and high schools. And I think that's wonderful and probably a boon for local bike store sales. But if you count up to 21 high schools as well as all the other high schools and middle schools within a 15-mile radius of the Watchung Reservation, I come up with over 30 high schools at least. Are we anticipating that all of these students will be using the Watchung Reservation to train for their NICA races? So that's one point. I'd also like to note that the NICA website lists rather stringent first aid requirements for its coaches, including wilderness first aid for managing accident scenes out on trail, wound care, head and spinal injury training, musculoskeletal and injuries, etc. I also want to comment on the petition that was presented at the last Freeholder meeting. They had hundreds and hundreds of signatures. However, if you go through the comments of all the petitioners, you'll find that a very high percentage of those signatures are from either out of state, out of county, out of area, out of state, or even out of the United States. I'm not sure if all those people from out of county are planning to come to the Watchung Reservation. If so, I think we're going to be overrun with bikers. And if they're not planning on coming here, I do not think that those signatures are meaningful. And I'd also like to remind the freeholders that the county has 536,000 residents, and this petition represents only a very, very tiny percentage of people. I ask the freeholders to approve the resolution that was previously put forward to remove mountain biking from the master plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
Good evening, Chairman Bergen and the Board of Freeholders. My name is William Toth. I'm from Plainfield, New Jersey. The Watchung Reservation Trails Master Plan, adopted February 18th, 2016, includes no wetlands or environmental impact studies. It does, however, include an environmental assessment based upon previous studies that identify the southwest corner of the reservation as the most fragile environment in the entire reservation, the remote and critical habitat of threatened and endangered plants and animals. This is also a natural heritage priority site. Why has an advanced mountain bike course been located in the one area of the reservation that should be off limits to any type of disturbance? This is also the steepest, rockiest, and most dangerous location for a mountain bike course within the reservation. On April 14th, I walked 2.76 miles of the Pink Flag bike course in this area. I have here with me a GPS printout of my hike and over 100 photos that document unauthorized mountain bike course building. These photos include cut trees and understory plants, log rollovers, jumps, trails through wetlands, fragile spring ephemerals coming up in the middle of the flag trails, and a section on top of a large animal burrow. A lot of the trees cuts are very large, up to 30-inch diameter. Fallen trees, mostly the big trees, but a lot of small live trees were also cut. The undeveloped forest preserve, these public lands that belong to all the residents of Union County, should not be given over to this small special interest group for their exclusive bike-only private development and use. Only mountain bike rider owners would be permitted to use this course. This would exclude the vast majority of Union County's 500,000 residents. These areas were set aside a century ago as a nature preserve for our benefit and for the benefit of future generations. I believe that to abandon this mandate and allow these fragile environments to be given over to this unsustainable, deleterious, and dangerous activity is not good stewardship of this unique and irreplaceable Union County resource. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Can I give you these?
Please give them to the clerk.
Hi, Troy Dahl, Mountainside, New Jersey. I just wanted to call out some points that have been over and over again stated that just doesn't make sense to me. We have people saying that, well, it's not that much of an inconvenience to drive 30 or 40 minutes each way to take our kids or ourselves to a mountain bike trail. When you only have an hour, we're busy. This is a very populous area. This is an expensive area to live. We have jobs, we work. If you have an hour to go out for a ride, driving 30 to 40 minutes each way kind of eliminates the time to do it. So no, kids like that won't be able to go often. And that's not fair to them. Secondly, will many users come here? Very unlikely. There's no evidence that many users will come here. It's a local park. You don't see any of the other parks overrun, even though there's not a ton of options for people. There's very little chance Watchung is going to be overrun. Nobody shows any evidence of that. They just make the accusation of it being overrun. On the environmental issues, CME did a very detailed plan. They presented the plan at a meeting in the reservation. The woman from CME was insulted. It was disgraceful by people opposing the plan because they didn't like the facts that they were presenting. The facts are they're decommissioning more trails than they're putting in. The facts are the trails that are being put in in a way to minimize the environmental impact. And they're being put in while decommissioning the trails that are causing more environmental impact. This is all on the Union County website. I'm not stating anything that you guys don't know. Another thing that has constantly been brought up is the damage being done, supposedly, allegedly, by mountain bikers in the reservation. We see this all the time.
yet we see no evidence this is being done by mountain bikers. The accusations, the people that see it, are never the mountain bikers. We're not even allowed in the park. Further, we talk about the dangers of the sport. Sure, you can get hurt mountain biking. However, it's also been posted, people have put forth the information, there's less injuries per capita for mountain biking than there is for hiking. If you're going to be worried about the emergency responses and the amount of people that are using the park getting hurt, causing additional resources, you should ban hiking. Certainly, you should ban horseback riding. Nobody's saying that. Nobody wants that. We want the trails to be shared. The mountain biking community was more than willing to accept shared trails. It was the opposition of hiking groups that didn't want shared trails. Either way, it should be allowed that everybody has access to the park, not some people that don't want to share the park. Frankly, if you don't want to share the park, you have that option. Stay home. But this community of people that's here, and it wasn't hundreds of signatures, it was thousands, or over 1,000 signatures, that are representing a voice, that care deeply about this. They have every right to use the park that some of the people that refuse to share do.
Thank you. Anyone else, please step forward.
Good evening, Chairman Bergen, freeholders. My name is Eric Moberg from Summit, New Jersey. And just to piggyback on Mr. Dahl's statements, I think one of the really cool things you'd find about the mountain biking community is this idea of, like, we have this little trail, it's about this wide, and they're saying, oh, they're for the exclusive use of the cyclists, and only they get to use it. Well, here's the thing. If we're out riding on that exclusive use trail and we encounter a hiker, we'll go, hey, how you doing? Have a good day. And that's the way we roll. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further comments at this time?
Good evening, Chair Bergen, Bruce Patterson, and ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board, Bruce Patterson, Garwood. Maybe some of these young kids, I know there's a bunch of us that are pretty old here, but maybe some of the young kids on the Freeholder Board can get a mountain bike and ride around and at least get some kind of tangible experience. I mean, listening to both sides, it is an up in the air decision. It's something very hard that you guys have to make. I feel sorry for the gentleman, the sculptor that was here, and he says his sculpture cost like $5,000, and he's being stiffed, and it sounded like for a couple of years. I mean, it's odd he mentions Kennedy, because I mentioned Kennedy tonight also. I don't know. You got to really wonder about that guy. He's assemblyman, but it kind of makes sense that he'd be an elected official in New Jersey. But maybe a suggestion is, these people up here, what is there, 11 of you? You probably together, with salaries, make $600,000. Now, if each of you chip in $500, that would probably cover his costs, make him happy. So, and you'd be advocating the arts at the same time. You put that on your resume. So, there's a suggestion for you. The questions that I asked, one or two was answered. Mr. Burry said, yeah, the question was very important about the UCUA. And yes, I'm going to bring that up again, that there was a line item, UCUA, $2 million. In the McEnroe hearings, Bibby Taylor, the Director of Finance, mentioned, yes, the McEnroe hearings came out, and they talked about everything about the bond refinancing, and yes, $2 million was going to the county. She says it's still in conformance, even though the $2 million as agreed through the McEnroe hearings and whatever contracts are signed, somehow now is only $1 million this year, and she says it's in conformance. So I'd like maybe Bibby or even county council through you, Chair Bergen, to at least explain what does that mean in conformance. The taxpayers now got stiffed out $1 million, the county taxpayers, and yet it's still in conformance. So as a county taxpayer and the viewing public and the people here would like to know how 1 million disappears and yet everything is still in conformity. Talking about legal questions, and I've brought this up before, and I keep hearing this term ad nauseum and nauseum, you know, whatever. But I really want to know, and through you again, Chair Bergen, to County Council, the same question I always ask. I got to hear it. I got to hear it from County Council because he's your legal representation. Not Estrada, not anybody else, not even you, even though you're a lawyer, but County Council. Why is a town manager overseeing the county budget and voting on the county budget where the other 20 towns of the county have no input and no vote on it? So, I mean, you know, the county council is here. He makes $165,000, so we must recognize that he's pretty intelligent. So I'd like to hear something from him based on whatever case law, you know, and nothing else from the freeholders. So that's it. I mean, you know, these are the questions that still stand that really need to be cleaned up to show that you are good stewards of government. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. As to your last item, it has been responded to again and again, both by myself, board members, and by the county council at your demand. We're not going to answer the question again. It's been answered many times, and there is no conflict. Thank you. I now, anyone else from the public who wishes to speak?
Come on.
Excuse me? Mr. Patterson? One more word and please leave. You may not disrupt this meeting.
Never got an answer.
Goodbye.
Don't say a word, Mr. Patterson. Just leave the room, please. Please. Thank you. Please step forward.
Thank you, freeholders. My name is Barbara Krause. I live in Cranford, New Jersey. I did not intend to speak tonight, but there were some things that I disagree with and that brought up to my mind a few problems. First, the people who are opposed to the mountain bike trails are not a small group of people, for one thing. It is a very large group, larger than you may realize. And we are not fear-mongering. Most of the comments that have been made are factual, and the emails that you have gotten are factual. We're not NIMBYs, but we are all Union County residents. And we do care about the Watchung Reservation and its integrity as our area, an area to be preserved in its original natural state and without mountain bikes. And even possibly mechanized mountain bikes. I was speaking to my brother who lives in Pennsylvania, and they do have mountain bikes there, and they have mechanized mountain bikes, motorized. And what is to stop that from happening here? Because at this point, the police are unable to control what is happening in the reservation as it stands now. Signs are torn down. Mountain bikes are on the trails. I was there Sunday, and I saw at least 4. So it is happening, and the rules and regulations are not being followed down. So what is to say that they will be followed in the future when there is an opportunity for them? When I was there, I picked this up, and this is your flyer that is at Watchung Reservation. Front says, they both say the same thing, no ATVs and no mountain biking in the reservation. It's prohibited in all Union County parks. Same thing on the other side. I really do wish that you would consider having the mountain biking community in another park. There has to be some place in Union County where they could be, where it could be made possible for them. I would hope that you would do that before you would tear up the reservation, never to be put back together again. And as far as the use of mountain biking in the reservation, it is incongruous. It is poorly conceived and poorly planned. And I would hope that you would find a place for these people who want to do something with their mountain bikes in a constructive way. Find another area in this county for them besides Watchung Reservation. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone further? Seeing none, I will close that portion of the meeting and turn to freeholder reports and comments. Freeholder Hudak.
Thank you, Chairman. Wanted to take a few minutes to acknowledge our state legislative delegation, Senator Scutari, Assemblyman Kennedy, and Assemblyman Green, in regard to the Tremley Point Connector Road project. That, for those who are unaware, is a conceptual project that has been decades in the making to create an off-ramp off the New Jersey Turnpike into the Tremley Point section of the city of Linden for the purpose of, one, promoting redevelopment along the Linden waterfront, but also it would take a large volume of trucks off the road, specifically through a residential area down Southwood Avenue. And that project has, for a long time, just been a dream, and many mayors, council people, freeholders have pushed that project, and it was always something that was there. It would see some progress, and ultimately something would fall through with the funding. Myself, our county manager, went to Washington, D.C. a couple of years ago. We met with our congressional district, because there was $14 million in federal earmarks that was at risk because the project, again, could just never get moving. And our congressional delegation was very helpful in keeping that funding in place. But in our conversations, I remember vividly with Senator Menendez, said this is just a sort of a project that doesn't quite die, but it never seems to get moving, because the right people in the state will not put heft and weight behind it. I'm very proud to say that day is coming to an end, that the day where the state is coming behind this project is finally here, as part of the first tranche of funding through the reconstituted Transportation Trust Fund. The city of Linden and the Tremley Point Connector Road is moving forward. The development for the project in terms of the studies that need to be done, the environmental impact, are going forward. I want to acknowledge the Senate President, Steve Sweeney, who came to Tremley Point over a year ago and pledged the support that should the gas tax increase go forward, should the trust fund be replenished, that project would receive a priority consideration. And a little over a year later, we were announcing that the funding was in place. And this is going to be a good thing, obviously, from an economic development standpoint. There's 400 acres of brownfields in the city of Linden, which can be redeveloped, that create many, many new jobs, construction, warehousing, and there's also a quality of life issue for the residents of that community who deal with heavy trucks coming through residential areas, many of them containing dangerous chemicals, petroleum, and those trucks will be leaving residential streets. So that's a good thing. It's an economic win-win and an environmental win-win. So happy to see that this project's moving forward. Freeholder Estrada, who's going to be the president of the NJTPA, was also there as well, and he's watching this county's interests at the state level, making sure projects that are vital to our regional infrastructure are going forward. So thank you very much for his work, and we do appreciate the work of our legislative delegation getting this done. And hopefully in the next few years, we'll be breaking ground and getting some trucks off the road and creating some jobs in the city of Linden. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Jallo.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to speak briefly in response to the comments made by the speaker with regard to the artwork at UC PAC. I just wanted to point out that the UC PAC is an autonomous agency. I know there were some residents in the audience and maybe those who view at home that were compelled by the statements by the speaker, and I just wanted to clarify that it's an autonomous agency for which this board has 3 seats. It's a board of potentially 30 members on it that makes decisions on behalf of the Performing Arts Center. As such, it's improper for the speaker, although I know it wasn't probably done on purpose. It was probably genuinely wanting to address a board and get some answers as to his issue, but it was improper to bring it before this board, as this board has no authority to make a decision whatsoever in response to his concerns. Without getting into the substance of what he said, I would state that I certainly, as a member of the representing this board's interest at the UC PAC, was not there or present when this alleged agreement took place. I don't think that there's a single member on the board who was actually there or present at the time that this alleged agreement to make art in exchange for some sort of monetary compensation took place. So it's really difficult for us to speak on that or as to whether it's so or not. I certainly invite him to provide whatever proofs he has to the actual UC PAC board, not to the Freeholder board, so that a reasonable decision of how to handle the situation can be made. Anecdotally, another statement was made as to the funding of the UC PAC, and that this county funds the UC PAC in some vast amount. To that I say, I wish. There are laws that are put in place that don't allow the freeholders to actually fund the UC PAC to the amount that they probably deserve and should be funded for arts in this county, other than programming dollars and maintenance, because it is our facility physically. We're like the landlords of it, so we have an obligation to maintain it. That was correct. We do maintain it, and we do a good job of that and spend plenty of dollars maintaining it. But as far as helping the UC PAC and its initiative to provide arts to the county, I think, in my opinion, I don't think that statement was accurate. I think it's very much so underfunded by this board, and I just wanted to clear that up to anyone listening, as I did hear some responses from the residents, very concerned about the gentleman's claims. That's all, Chairman.
Thank you for clarifying that, Freeholder. Freeholder Wright.
Yes, thank you. I'm looking forward to a very special event this Saturday in Union Township, my hometown. We will be celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Jeanette Shell Book Scholarship Fund, a nonprofit that provides support for Union High School graduates who wish to attend post-secondary institutions. It was formed in 1998 to carry on the work and vision of Mrs. Jeanette Shell, who broke down barriers for herself and others in her long career with the Union Township Public Library. Our local public libraries have seen many changes in this age of technology, but one thing will never change. Librarians are and will always be a cornerstone of our communities. Libraries convey a powerful message of one generation reaching out to the next, passing along our collective knowledge in the spirit of inclusiveness and support for everyone who strives to learn. I know that I speak for my colleagues when I say that this Freeholder Board is extraordinarily proud of the librarians, staff, and volunteers who work tirelessly to ensure that our local public libraries continue to uphold their important civic legacy.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Kowalski.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to mention, well, first off, I want to thank everyone who came to speak tonight. Making an effort to actually come and express your views is an important thing, and participating in the civic process does make a difference. We hear what you're saying, and so thank you for being here. I do want to let you know about some arts events that are coming up and that are ongoing at our Pearl Street Gallery in Elizabeth. That's part of the Cultural and Heritage Affairs Office. We have an exhibit of fine arts prints of paintings by Gina Minincino of Westfield. In the hallway here in our building, please have a look at painting by art students of all ages from the JCC of Central New Jersey. Upcoming, we have the Union County Senior Citizens Art Exhibit. That is open to all artists age 60 or over, and it's a juried event. There will be prizes. And that is, and the winners and many of those, the art pieces of art that will be submitted will be on display May 30th through July 10th at the Liberty Hall Center in Union, and we'll have an awards ceremony on Wednesday, June 7th. We're also having we've mentioned before the Teen Arts Showcase, or the Teen Arts Festival that we had in March, and out of that festival comes the Teen Arts Showcase, where students perform at the Union County Performing Arts Center, and that will be Monday, May 8th at 7 o'clock. It's a free show. It's very entertaining and great to see the talent that our students have around the county. So I really encourage you to go and see that Monday, May 8th at 7 o'clock at Union County Performing Arts Center in Rahway. And also the teens who have excelled in visual arts will have a display at the Springfield Library on May 15th, and that ceremony will also be at 7 p.m. So for these exhibits or any of the arts information, you can contact our Office of Cultural and Heritage Affairs. That's 908-558-2550, or email them at culturalinfo@ucnj.org, or just go to our website, ucnj.org, and follow the prompts. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Estrada.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things that I want to just touch bases on. Number one is like always, is we welcome residents who come in and speak about issues that they may be facing, and we're here to listen and potentially ultimately act in many of these things. On Monday, I was privy to be part of a press conference that was attended by myself and Vice Chairman Granados, one sponsored by the Mayor of the City of Elizabeth, Mayor Bolwich, in reference, I believe, and also B.J. Kowalski was there as well. This is something to do with the present cuts that are contemplated from the President's budget. And that was specifically dealing with the issue of the CDBG, or the Community Development Block Grants that help communities throughout our county, such as things that I think maybe people may understand or remember the name of Meals on Wheels. He's proposing of totally cutting this off. It's a way that people who are in need can be assisted through various means in terms of the community, and often has been quoted as a misuse of funds throughout this country, and that is one of the most honestly discouraging statements that I've heard. Such a thing as Meals on Wheels that keeps seniors from going to institutions, but that they can be home. And often when we find ourselves in bad weather, Meals on Wheels move regardless what goes on. So the CDBG has something that impacted our communities for many, many years. I think this is the 46th year, I think it was. It was a 46 or 74 years?
1974, so that would be 44.
44 years of services to the community throughout. It may vary because some of it is to a certain point of home assistance. It varies by municipalities as to the areas that they will tap in. But that being said, there is no doubt that these kinds of draconian cuts just don't make any sense as far as I'm concerned. hopefully, the Congress and the Senate will have an opportunity to fix things wrong in the future. We'll see. So far, there's no indications of any kind of comments from the White House. Also had the opportunity to, in the evening, I had the opportunity to go to Kent University, and the Kent University, which has a Holocaust Center, that's probably one of the largest or the most informed or the reservoir of information. That's one of the largest in the country. And that day they were marking the annual Yom Shoah, which is called Holocaust Remembrance Day. And I tell you, I have been to this event numerous times. This was done by by Kent University, and it normally depicts the life that so many Jewish individuals faced during the Holocaust, and it's amazing. It's a very solemn event, and at the same time, one of the important things that which the main speaker spoke about is that it's not only that it happened during the Holocaust, but also that we, as individuals and members of this world and this country, need to ensure that we're very cognizant of the reality that this is not the only time that this could happen. It happens. It has happened afterwards, and for whatever reason, if we do not understand or speak about this issue, that potentially the generations in the future may not necessarily be as active or as not understanding, but to know what happened in history so that we can avoid happening it again. I had the opportunity. There was two twin brothers that are survivors of the Holocaust, and it was interesting how they were giving their understand, because in the process they loved both the mother and the father and practically all their family. So I tell you, often it's a great opportunity to reflect on what happened not too long ago, in essence, and we have to be very cognizant of the impact that that has, not only in our community, but also in our county, as a large Jewish community that resides here. And we all need to know, regardless of whether, as far as your relationship directly or indirectly with it. So that concludes my comments, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Mirabella.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my pleasure to remind the residents of some upcoming Union County events that are fun for the whole family. This Sunday, Wild Earth Festival at Trailside Nature and Science Center in Mountainside will take place from 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Nearby at the Lower Loop parking lot, youngsters can visit our annual Touch a Truck event, which is wildly popular in Union County and throughout our municipalities. It's a great event, and I hope people will come out. It includes a quiet hour from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the enjoyment of those with sensory sensitivities to noise. And there's more. The Master Gardeners Spring Garden Club Fair, an open house for archery range, an afternoon of free music at Rhythm and Blues by the Brook in June in Plainfield, our annual Bio Blitz Public Nature Survey, all take place in the next few weeks. And please take a look at our website, ucnj.org, for details on those events. We have a very good spring of activities coming. Certainly something is going to be exciting for me and my family and Union County's family is the first ever Pride in Our Community picnic celebrating marriage equality in the state of New Jersey. That's coming up on Saturday, June 17th from 12 noon to 4 p.m. at Rollway River Park. Many activities for children, including music, crafts, games, bounce houses, and much more. So please come out and help us celebrate our community. For details, please look at our Facebook or also online at ucnj.org. I had the opportunity to attend 2 different Earth Day events last weekend, and I know many freeholders were throughout our county celebrating Earth Day, reminding people that celebrating Earth Day is not a one-day event. It is something that should be celebrated throughout the year, and pick up trash and do your part to help your community. Tomorrow is Arbor Day, so there's a bunch of activities going on around our community to celebrate Arbor Day. in our schools. Union County donated hundreds of trees that will be planted by children across our county. And Saturday, I wanted to put a local plug for two events that are going on. One in Fanwood, Rockin' for Autism, starting at 10:30. It's an event from 10:30 to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon with music to raise funds for autism. And then I want to highlight a young fellow who we've had at this meeting over the times at Freeholder events to celebrate Zachary Brooks, whose twin brother has autism. He's a freshman in high school, and he dedicated his time to help his brother raise awareness for autism. There's an art show in Summit that he is going to be hosting, so I hope people will come out and celebrate with Zachary and how he does his part to help raise awareness for autism. And that concludes my remarks, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. County Council, any remarks?
No remarks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
County Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just quickly, we have summer jobs for county residents who might be interested, like to work outdoors and or 16 or older. For lifeguards, the pay is $15 per hour. You must pass a test in order to be hired, but we do provide training for those who are interested. For more information, call our county's Department of Recreation at 908-298-7849. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Vice Chairman Granados.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd just like to announce that the Union County Workforce Innovation Business Center is continuing to offer jobs to Union County residents. This past week, we got news of 170 brand new jobs for Union County residents, 100 through OTG Management, a food service company within Newark Airport, 50 new jobs through the PGK Clubhouse, which provides services for children, and 20 new jobs through Francesca's Collection, a store at Jersey Gardens Mall. For more information on these jobs and how to qualify for them, please call the Union County Workforce Innovation Business Center at 908-355-4444. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to thank Freeholder Hudak for his leadership on the Tremblay Point issue. It is an important economic and quality of life issue for not only Linden but the entire county. So thank you for your years of working on that, and congratulations that we're finally getting somewhere. I also once again wanted to thank Fiscal Chairman Mirabella, the Fiscal Committee, the County Manager, the department heads, and in fact all of our staff for the great job they did on this year's budget. I think we can all be proud of the budget that we passed tonight. I do want to brag a little bit about the Union County Magnet High School in Scotch Plains, which was ranked number 4 in New Jersey and 105th nationally by U.S. News and World Report in their 2017 annual list of best public high schools in the country. That's among about 20,000 high schools that are considered. 2 other schools in our vocational technical system also ranked. The Academy for Allied Health Services ranked number 8 in New Jersey and 200 nationally, and the Union County Vocational Technical High School ranked 70th in New Jersey and just over 2,500th nationally. There are also 5 other public schools in the county who ranked among the highest schools in New Jersey. Elizabeth High School was number 5 in New Jersey, Summit High School, number 12 in New Jersey, Alexander Hamilton Preparatory Academy, which is also in Elizabeth, number 17 in New Jersey, Jonathan Dayton High School in Springfield, which was number 29 in New Jersey, as well as Scotch Plains Fanwood High School, which ranked number 2 in New Jersey. So we can all be proud of the public schools we have here in Union County. I also want to mention 2 facilities that we will be opening in the next couple of weeks. First, on May 16th at 12 o'clock, we will be proudly cutting the ribbon on the soft opening for the renovated Warren-Echo Park Sports Center. It houses our skating rink, of course, in Warren-Echo Park. The Warren-Echo Park Sports Center has undergone an extensive $7 million modernization that has doubled the overall complex space and transformed it into a year-round venue for skating and other activities. Finally, on May 22nd at 5 p.m., we will be cutting the ribbon on the new Union County Courthouse Annex at 5 p.m. We are pleased to have New Jersey Supreme Court Chief Justice Stuart Rabner on hand for opening up that new building. That brings us to a conclusion of tonight's meeting, and I would call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second? All-
Yeah, second.
We could stay.
Second,
All in
second.
favor?
All right.
We're adjourned.
Good job.